everyone.
Hello!
And welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony, and we are going to dive into each other's dreams and splash around a bit.
Hell yeah. Go for a little swim.
Yeah, a little dream swim.
Oh.
Although, you were saying you've not been having any dreams recently.
this isn't going to come as a shock to anybody, but I've still not had any dreams. I think it's time for me to retire.
No!
Goodbye. This will be my last appearance on Comfort Zone.
No, I don't want it to. It's just going to be me talking to myself.
Comfort Zone.
Oh, jeez. Don't leave me alone with myself. That's a discomfort zone.
But yeah, I've just not had any. I think I tend to wake up to an alarm every day, and I think part of the reason that I'm not remembering anything is just because the alarm knocks everything out of my brain.
Scaring the dreams away.
Yeah, I need to have a dedicated sleep day where I do not wake up to an alarm.
That sounds nice.
It does sound nice, but I'm scared I'm just going to sleep in all day, you know?
Oh.
So that's why even on my days off, I'll set an alarm.
Yeah.
But this is what I need to do to get some dreams going. Because they're just not happening right now. They're really not happening. I had a couple of stressful ones last week, but other than that, there was nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
It's like she's dreaming nothing at all. Nothing at all. I had a dream last night that I didn't record because it was just one of those sort of ones. But I remember I was watching a film set, as that seems to be just the topic of my dreams is filming again. But I was going for a walk up. It was supposedly a mountain, but it was like the size of Park Street in Bristol. It was teeny tiny. And I was walking past this film set and I was sort of trying to linger and get a little bit of a peek. And I was talking to this guy and he didn't know I used to work on film sets. So he was like, oh, watch this. And he was showing me how you do the clapperboard. But then he he marked the cameras, but then he went to pick up the Steadicam, and I was like, wait, is he basically all of these things were slightly off about how the film set was running, and I was stood back should I tell them? And what I think it is that I watched the first episode of Chaos the other day, which is a Netflix thing based on Greek mythology, and I was trying really hard not to actually the whole time. And I think it was an actually dream where I was watching them and I was just actually the you should be, the second AC should be marking the board, not the Steadicam operator, blah blah blah. But then the second half of the dream was that I was trying to I really wanted a glass of water, and I started walking up the mountain, and the kitchen cupboards from the office were just lining the side of the mountain. And I kept on just, as I was walking up, just checking the cupboards, and one of them just had old packets of tea, and one of them had bowls, and I just could not find a clean glass anywhere. And there was glasses of water on the side, but I didn't know if they belonged to anyone. And yeah, I never got my glass of water. But then there was another really weird bit where I got nearer the top of the mountain, and I think I was crouched down next to a bin, and the bin had a little mirror on it, and I think I was trying to check my teeth in the bin mirror to see if I had anything in my teeth. And then I looked across and there was this bench full of business people that could all see me doing it. I thought I was hidden behind this bin, but I was oh, they're all just watching me. That's oh geez. And I just walked off because I felt really embarrassed. I was just oh, okay, bye.
Oh my God. That's just so wild. Save some dreams for the rest of us. Bloody hell.
Well, The reason I didn't record it when I woke up was because firstly, it's just bits and pieces. And secondly, I think I know what it was all about. Because last night we went to, I don't know if we can say, but we went to
a
an
thing.
event
Yes.
where we met people outside of our usual working zone.
Yes.
And I think that was what it was. I think I was very self-conscious, as I always am in all social situations. And I think that's why I was checking my teeth in the bin mirror whilst serious business people laughed at me. I think it was all just about that. It was just about me like, they know I'm not a serious business person.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm just a bin fool.
Yeah, I feel that. There's a lot of imposter syndrome when you have to go to things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't fit in. How do I talk to these people? I'm so scared.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, I think I get it a lot when I have friends, when it's like a mix of strangers and people, you know, I think I sort of get it doubly because I'll be thinking, like, I get it all the time when I'm like talking to someone else whilst you're there. Because we had it at the Blue Cross thing where I just thought, this is what's going to make Kirsty hate me. She's going to be watching me talking to strangers and be like,
how dare you talk to other people?
You're insufferable. I don't know. I always just get this feeling of like, this is going to be the moment where she realizes like, no, I don't like you.
Oh my God, Bryony. Well, we went for lunch yesterday with some people, and I don't know if we can say, but we went for lunch with some people, and Bryony was absolutely just owning the conversation. She was so good. I was sitting there like, damn, this girl can talk. She's so confident.
Oh,
and at no point did I think, I hate this woman. She won't shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Imagine just halfway through our lovely business lunch, you're just there like, will you just shut up?
Just turn around to her in front of the other people. It's like, woman, will you just pipe down for 5 minutes?
I don't know. I'm an oversharer a lot of the time. Like literally, I was sat across from someone that I was meeting for the first time, and I found myself being like, I've never used a bidet, and I was like, you didn't need to know that. I didn't need to say that.
It was when you started talking about erotica that I was.
I just like, I think I'm more scared of silence than I think the way my brain works is that if I'm constantly filling their head with stuff, they can't pause to think about how they feel about me.
Oh
so
my
if I just keep talking at them, it's like when you get those big flashy birds and they just dazzle predators. Just be like, whoa, look away, like, wow, look at all the colours. Woo. And they're just there like, oh, I don't know which bit to attack. Okay, I'll leave you alone.
Attack them with thoughts and topics, and just like, you have no time to think about how much you don't like me. Well, that's one way to do it.
Never let them know your next move.
Yeah. They'll never see it coming.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hopefully.
I don't think you actually need to do that, Bryony. I'm going to break it to you here. You don't need to, because you're very likable.
Thank
It might come as a
you.
surprise, but
I did the typical thing at the end of the night. Kirsty had gone home. I had a little bit more to drink, and I did that thing of being like, I'm now in my apology zone.
oh no.
And I went up to Tom and I was like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I did not do well in the last mystery quest. And he was like, no, you were great. And I was like, no, I didn't.
No, I was
like,
shit.
no, you were great. And this conversation, bless him, lasted for like half an hour of me being like, no. And he was just like, no. And I'm like, no.
You were like, I'm sure you were going to leave like not long after me. It sounds like you were just there apologising to people.
Just gotta clear up all the apologies before I go home.
Oh my gosh.
Save myself the work tomorrow.
Yep. To be fair, I got back to my hotel room and I jumped on Discord and I was chatting to people and we played a couple of like tiny baby games of Blood on the Clock Tower. And after that, I was like in my apology mode. I held back, but I think all night and waking up in the morning, I was just awful. I was just the worst person ever. I need to say sorry to all of these people. So yeah, I get it.
Oh, jeez.
God.
What were we like? Sorry, everyone.
Sorry.
I'm really curious to know if there's anything in the book about, like, glasses of water or, like, drinking water. Because I feel like it was really significant in a way that I have no idea what it means, that I couldn't find a glass of water. But I feel like water is always just
was this last night? It was the last night you had this dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were probably, you'd been drinking a lot. You're probably just thirsty.
That's true, actually. It's just my body telling me, like, please, can you actually just drink?
Just drink something that's not alcohol, please. Put down the gin. It makes me laugh that you carried on drinking because when I left, you were like, oh, I've got a gin, but I don't really want it. And I was like, oh, I'll drink it. So I downed it for you. And then you really got more.
Do you know, I'd forgotten that. Do you know who was a bad influence, though? Actually, I probably shouldn't call them out on the podcast. But one of our friends kept on being like, have you had a bit to drink? I was like, yeah. And then they were like, I'm going to get you tequila. I was like, no.
Oh, my God.
They were like, do you want a drink? I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I can tell I'm tipsy. And they're like, I'll get you tequila. I was like, no.
You'll have to tell me who it was after.
I have to name names.
Yeah.
I mean, this says to be drinking in a dream is to be absorbing or taking something in.
Alcohol.
So I guess I wanted to take something in and I couldn't because there were no clean glasses. What we are drinking is also important. E.g., fruit juice would indicate we are aware of the need for cleansing and purity.
Oh.
I wouldn't think of juice as being cleansing and pure. I would have thought having a glass of water would be cleansing and purity.
Yeah, exactly. Fruit juice.
For me, juice is like a bit of fun.
Yeah. It's a little treat.
Yeah. I mean, water itself. Oh,
does it say
water is usually taken in dreams to symbolize all that is emotional and feminine.
What? Feminine?
Maybe I felt...
Fellas, is it gay to drink water? What? Why is water feminine? I don't understand. Okay. I
don't understand.
What?
It is a mysterious substance, given that it has the ability to flow through, over, and around objects.
Much like
it has
women.
the quality, much like women, mysterious, watery women. It has the quality. No, it has the quality of being able to wear away anything which gets in its way.
Much like
Water can also stand for the dreamer's potential and his ability to create a new life in response to his own inner urgings. What?
Huh?
I'm confused.
Just thirsty, mate. That's all it is.
Yeah, I didn't have a drink when I got in.
Yeah.
And I needed... I mean, there's so much about water. There's like entering water, deep water, flowing water, to be on the water, bathing, canals, diving, drowning. If the water is very deep, reflected in a pool, there's like a bit... I mean, I guess we are, 70% water? How much water are we?
Is that us or is that Earth? I think Earth is more, isn't it? I think we're 70%.
Yeah, is Earth like 80? Or are we 60?
Oh, no, I think we're 70. I think you're right. How much of human body is water? Oh, 60%. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Oh, and is the Earth 80? Have I actually managed to retain some knowledge?
How much of Earth is water? 71%.
Butts. Oh, bathing suggests purification. Canals symbolize the birth process.
Ooh.
What if you'd just been on like a nice canal holiday?
Well, you've got to give birth, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I do worry about finding a clean glass in the cupboard. So maybe it was just that. I knew I was coming into the office and I was like, I want a drink. I wonder if I'll find a nice clean glass. But they got new ones recently, so it's been a lot easier.
Yeah, there was. I had a couple of teas this morning, and there were a lot of clean mugs, which was very nice. We're making the office out to be filthy dirty, like full of dirty cups.
It's
and
just
stuff,
the people.
but-
Whoa. My bunny mug, I've not seen it in the cupboard in ages, and I'm like, either it broke and no one told me, or I guess maybe someone nicked it. Maybe I'll pretend to myself that someone nicked it and took it home because they loved it so much.
Yeah, they might have really liked it.
Yeah. Because Alex used to always use that one.
Aw.
Either that or the soft focus one were his go-tos. But yeah. Yeah, that wasn't even the dream I was bringing. That was just a dream I had last night.
That was a bonus dream. You got to bring them because I've just been slacking, to be honest.
I mean, my other dream that I had... Sorry, that was a hiccup. The other dream I had at the week... Oh my gosh, hiccups. Stop it. No.
Stop it.
You need to scare me. Oh. I'm leaving the podcast. Oh. The other dream I had at the weekend was just, I told you about it, is I had a dream that I met a Dota player, and it's just because the Dota International is coming up. And so, yeah, my dreams have been very like surface level. Well, I guess like the bin mirror was something I figured out, but I don't know. They've just been sort of, I've woken up and immediately gone like, oh, well, I was thinking about that. That makes sense.
I mean, that's quite nice, though, to be fair. It's nicer than having like a real cryptic one that you got to figure out metaphor. On some sort of podcast.
I guess this sounds like the worst. That reminds me, Kirsty and I were talking yesterday about saying out loud, I have a podcast, and just how like
cringe
it makes you feel. Because we're going to do a Somni gastronomy today, and I went to buy the ingredients and I got talking to the guy in the shop, and I was explaining like, because the ingredients all together, he was a bit like, what are you making with this sort of thing? And I was explaining, and I felt myself have to say like, I have a podcast. I was just like, oh, don't judge me. I'm not a podcast person.
But you are.
I am. Ich bin ein Podcast.
I was saying I had to do it when we stayed at the hotel because they asked like, oh, how come you're interested in the haunted room? Are you, is that your sort of thing? And I was like, well, I actually said, bear with me. I was like, I have a podcast.
It's just dirty admitting it. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, but I have a podcast.
And then there was someone who asked us at the thing last night, like, so is your podcast like just sort of, does it have a purpose, or is it just chatting? We're like, well, sort of. It has a loose purpose. It's mostly an excuse for a nice chat, though.
Pretty much. It's just us chatting and having a nice time, honestly. I do wish I could bring you more content, though.
That's all I want you for.
I need to start. I tell you what I need to do. I need to write down a list of things that are supposed to make me dream, and then just try them all out, like homework,
Oh my gosh. So I was thinking for maybe like Halloween or something, or even before. Well, actually, Halloween is really bloody soon, isn't it? But I was looking up dream teas. I don't remember how I got into this, but I found this Reddit post where someone was saying, I came up with this like dream. I think I was looking up like teas that help you to dream rather than sleepy time teas sort of thing. And they were like, I have come up with this amazing tea that helps you to lucid dream, which I guess is just one step further. And this tea is like, so you might be able to, if you just search like dream tea recipe Reddit or something, it might come up. And there's this picture of their tea and it looks amazing. And they did start selling it on Etsy, but they're in America, so I don't know if the postage would be horrendous. But I think they put the things there, like the ingredients there, so we might be able to make it ourselves. But I reckon we should try and make some dream tea and do it we could do like a little video. Yeah. We could dress up like witches. We could have a big cauldron.
Ooh, we can cure my dreamless sleep. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes,
because there's some things that are meant to be, I want to say like blue lotus flower is one, or something like that is one of these things that I see in every like dream tea. I'm starting to think like, wait, is that poisonous? Google before you try anything. But I was also thinking, I see so many like sleepy time teas, and I reckon we should try them all and do a tier list. A tier list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that. I've got
any of the sleepy
Yorkshire
time
tea
teas
one at home.
Oh, like
That's
the biscuit.
No, not they did a sleepy time one as well. Like as part of that range, there's a caffeine-free one.
Oh,
it's not biscuit. I can't remember what the flavour is. It wasn't as nice as the biscuit one, so I've still got it.
But I swear, every brand will have like it's usually like lavender and chamomile, I guess.
Yeah,
those are like the sleepy
like that, right?
things. But also, I think in a couple of months, the Coven place that I went to is going to release their recipe for their tea that they made.
Ooh.
And that was good stuff. It had like a little bit of nutmeg in, and nutmeg is meant to give you dreams. I think in larger doses, it's like a hallucinogenic. So I guess that's why.
Isn't it like kind of dangerous in large doses?
Yeah, if you have like, I think it's 2 tablespoons, your
Is that it? That's so
organs
crazy.
start shutting down. It's something like 2 tablespoons of ground or 3 actual nutmeg nuts.
Damn.
And because I've always thought it was quite a harmless thing. I put a sprinkle of it in my nut roast every year for Christmas. And that's all I've ever
And everyone's just tripping balls.
Everyone has a great Christmas. But I guess thinking about it, eating 2 tablespoons of nutmeg, that is quite a lot of nutmeg. I don't think anyone could accidentally have that much. But I have seen people who are like, oh, I was trying to trip, and so I had a lot, and then I got really ill from it.
Yeah,
so
it can actually make you quite sick, can't it? Like,
yeah.
So don't do it. Don't do it, everybody. Don't
do
go eating nutmeg,
kids. Unless it's just a little bit in a cashew nut roast, because then it's delightful. But yeah, we could try and do. Theirs was like, it sort of tasted like a vanilla Earl Grey with a hint of nutmeg.
I love
and it
an
was
Earl Grey.
Lush. But they said it was like naturally decaf, so I guess it can't have been Earl Grey. But it was, for some reason, when I was having all of my like heart investigation stuff with the palpitations, and I cut down on, like, I got rid of caffeine. But for some reason, when I was trying to, like, I was worried that any sort of caffeine was causing it. I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll just have Earl Grey. And then everyone was like, Earl Grey has caffeine in it. Like, why would you think otherwise? I was like,
did you feel fine when you were drinking the Earl Grey?
Yeah, that was how I realized, like, oh, it's not caused by caffeine. I'm
isn't
actually
it?
fine. Yeah.
As soon as someone says that has caffeine, and it's like, oh no,
Oh,
here come
I'm
the
the
heart
problem.
palpitations.
But yeah, I love Earl Grey because, like, it's one of my mum's favorite teas, and she had this like wooden box of Earl Grey, and then when she'd like drunk all the tea, she gave me the box to keep trinkets and treasures in, like seashells and marbles.
Ah.
And the box still smells of Earl Grey, so it's like a real childhood nostalgia smell for me because it reminds me of like collecting trinkets and treasures, and it's so like ingrained that Earl Grey smells of childhood
Aww.
in a weird way.
Oh, that's so nice. I really like the idea of doing a tea tier list. I think that would be good. Like, and
literally,
just
like,
seeing if it does
every
affect,
brand.
Yeah,
every brand has a sleepy time.
every brand. We should just go to the supermarket and get all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there'd be like variables of like what we've done in the day, and so I have to be really scientific about.
We're gonna have to write a report.
Yeah,
I'll put my degree to use.
You have to wear a lab coat.
Yeah,
just in case.
What did you do? Speaking of which, what did you do for like your dissertation? Because you did a photography. You did a Bachelor of Arts, right?
I did.
So what did your dissertation consist of?
My dissertation was about the representation of AIDS in cinema.
Okay.
Comparing Hollywood and indie. I compared Philadelphia and the band Played On, which was a more like low budget indie film, and it was fascinating. It's such a niche subject, but it's like the history of gay cinema is like so. There's things like. So I will stop myself from getting too into this because I could talk about it for a long time. But there's things like when they first started allowing gay characters to be in films, they would have to do the like redemption thing. So there's quotation marks. So the first gay character that was ever in a film was never cast, never appeared on screen, and still died. And you would get this all the time where it was like, okay, we'll allow them, but they have to have some sort of like, either they would like die or they would, something bad would have to happen. And it's like, it's really like interesting to see how things slowly started to develop. And obviously now you get like, for me, it was great when that film, what was it? Bros came out, because a couple of years ago, because I was like, oh my gosh, we have like, this is the first, I mean, it's taken too long for this to be the case, but it's the first like big budget, big distributor, like just gay film. And that is great that we're finally at a stage where you can just have this. But there's a lot of stuff about how like, things like The Fly and a lot of like horror films were, I guess, what's the word, like allegories for the AIDS crisis, having this thing that's like a silent killer. And also when you have the like teen slasher films, how, the slightly promiscuous ones, like, oh, they're being mysteriously killed off and stuff like that. Like, because people couldn't be sort of openly expressing it, they had to find these other routes to talk about it. And so yeah, it's very interesting if you look into it, but
yeah,
a slightly niche subject as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's nice when you have like a dissertation like that you can just go on about for ages and you really really get into the subject,
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked because just like I just wanted to sort of gauge the difference because I did a Bachelor of Science, so all of mine was about data collection and data analysis and stuff like that. I had to do a lot of statistics and a lot of math.
Yeah.
So it was very different. Yeah, but mine was nowhere near as interesting, really. I did an experiment to see the difference between cats' heart rate and body temperature at rest, after feeding and after playtime, and just to see like how much it fluctuates. There wasn't really much to it. It was just sort of very basic, but I got to play with some cats, so that was nice.
I feel like you win.
Yeah. Oh dear, but yeah, like it was good. I originally started out trying to do their blood pressure, but trying to take a cat's blood pressure is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It just ended up being a void experiment, really, because you would have to handle them so much to try and take their blood pressure that it was just very difficult to do. So with their body temperature, I ended up using a special piece of equipment. I can't remember the name of it exactly, but it was basically like a little gun, and you just sort of hold it, and it had a little camera on it, and you could see like a temperature map of the cat, essentially. And it gave you their temperatures. So I was taking their eye temperature specifically. So I had to hold it at a certain point in their eye and see how the temperatures fluctuated. And it was really interesting. It was very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so different to like a Bachelor of Arts sort of thing, because I had to spend most of my time collecting the data rather than writing the dissertation. All of the writing sort of came at the end.
Well, I mean, that's sort of how it was for me as well, because I did mine in a bit of a deranged way. I think I read all the books that I wanted to read and like watched a lot of films, and it's just my excuse to watch a lot of gay films, because that's like my area of cinema that I'm interested in. And then I sat down and I wrote it in one go, and I never reread it, and then I handed it in. Mm-hmm. That was it. I was just my God. I just need to, like, yeah. There you go.
I'm kind of like that. Like, I don't think I ever handed mine to my advisor or my supervisor. They might have read it once, maybe. And I was just like, nope, I don't want people judging this. When it gets graded, that's when it gets judged. It's a really stupid mindset, but I was like, I think I gave it to her once. Everyone else was sending every little edit to their supervisors, and I was like, nope. I did it. I gave it in at the very end, probably like right before the deadline, and I got first, so it was all right. I did okay.
I remember like getting into uni and being like, here it is, I've handed it in on like a USB stick, and they were like, you need to print and bind it.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh. Do I? So I was there like an hour before the deadline.
Yeah, I was as well. I remember the last day before it was due in, I stayed up really late, like writing and just finishing it off. And then I woke up, I set an alarm, I woke up at 6 a.m. I think the deadline was 10. So I woke up at 6 a.m., finished it, and then took it down and got it printed and bound there and then handed it in. And
mine was like still warm when I handed it.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh. But we got I don't know, I feel like it's that ADHD thing where like we basically got an extension. Because we had really bad snow that put our halls out of action, so we had to be evacuated, basically. So we managed to get them to approve an extension. So I don't know if I would have finished it without this extension, but at the same time, I'm like, if they didn't give me the extension, I would have just procrastinated anyway and done it. Like, pulled an all-nighter at the end, I guess. But
I got an extension as well, but it was really weird because for some reason I was talking to one of my tutors. I remember being in her office, but I don't remember why I'd gone there. I think maybe I just like helped her carry something back or something. And she was asking like, oh, how was your Christmas break? And I was just telling her, for some reason, oversharing again. I was saying like, oh, I went to see my friend, and I just feel a bit bad because at the time she was going through a divorce, and like she got married really young, and I was just like, oh, just sort of telling her about that. And she was just like, yeah, these things can be stressful. You can have an extra month on your dissertation. And I was just like, I wasn't asking for an extension, but I was sort of like, I'm not going to argue, okay? I was like, it doesn't really affect me, but okay, like, I'll take it.
That's insane.
Yes, I was just sort of like, thank you. It is really tough on me, this thing that's nothing to do with me.
I basically, the way that mine happened was I was on my laptop in my room, probably playing a video game of some description, and all of the power went off. I think I was actually on like Discord or TeamSpeak or something, and all the power went off, everything shut down, and everyone came out of their rooms like, what's happening? And it was like, we should go and find a warden. I think I texted the warden and was like, the power's gone off. Can we have some help, please? And then I think I went out to see if anyone else had the same issue, like in the other rooms, the other buildings even. And as I went down to the stairwell to the front door, there was water coming through a light fitting in the lobby. And I was like,
jeez.
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
The Yogscast classic.
Yeah, literally. And I text the warden again and I was like, by the way, there's like a waterfall coming out of the light in the lobby. And at that point it was like, okay, get out of the building.
Oh, jeez.
But the what had caused it was we had like a snowstorm. So all of the snow was on top of the roof, and I guess it leaked into the buildings. So we all got moved into like the cafe for hours and hours until they figured out somewhere to put us.
Oh, jeez.
And at that point, everyone's like, where do I need to be writing my dissertation? Oh, I should get an extension. So yeah, that's how it happened.
I feel like that's more reasonable than mine.
Maybe.
Mine just... And the teacher was just bored of talking to me. And
yeah, just like, yeah, you can have it. Just leave. Bye.
Take a month. Get out. Get out of my office. Oh dear. I'm doing my overthinking, and I'm already in apologizing mode. The way I was describing my dissertation, I'm like, it sounded really bad. It's a very aggravating. It made me very angry reading about it. I realized the way I've worded it, I'm just like, this is fascinating, and I'm like, no, these are people. So apologies if it came across that way.
It didn't come across that way. It sounds like you're passionate about the subject. It doesn't sound like you're being blasé at all.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh. Well, shall we listen to a dream?
Yeah, let's just have a listen to your dream.
Why not? Bit of a novelty.
Yeah, go on. We don't do that often.
When in Rome, yeah. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that I'd gone to jail and I'd got 3 years. But I'd been tried for like a murder, but managed to get a lesser charge. But I knew I had done it, and I could have got a lot more. And I remember like the prison warden was Ken Jeong, and Xylus was in prison as well, but I don't know what for. And his nan would come and visit. So one time I like saved up all the stuff and I dressed up as Xylus's nan and I pretend that I was visiting him, and then I just walked out and I managed to escape and people could like see me. I think a bunch of people have been visiting, like Ravs and Lydia, and they sort of helped me. They were like, okay, we'll hide you, go. And I ran away just like through these trees down this road, and I could see all the other prisoners sort of watching me being like, she's there, like what the heck, is she gonna make it? And I spent a few days outside, and then I was like, do you know what, this is just gonna stay with me forever. I'm always gonna worry that I'm just gonna be arrested again. I'll just do the 3 years, because to be honest, I should have had 15. So I walked back into the prison and I walked back up to Ken Jeong and I was like, okay, here I am. I was like, can I read any books I like? Like, can I import books into the library? He was like, yeah, you can import any books you like. And I was like, well, actually, this isn't bad. I can just spend 3 years sort of reading. And then it turned out there was like a talent show going on at the time. And Kirsty was it Kirsty and Tash were on my team. And you had to like create a painting. And Kirsty started off by drawing this like, I don't know my time periods well enough, but this big, the time when you'd get the ladies wearing like the like painted faces and the massive updo hair, sort of like that time, and it was up to me and Tash to fill in the background. And I was saying like, oh, should we make it spooky? Should we put like the Eye of Sauron there or a creepy mansion? And I was like, well, I'll just try and actually like draw something. And I was trying to like draw it with crayon because I thought paint would take too long to dry, and it was coming out really well. It's like I was literally just tracing. I could see where I was meant to be doing it somehow, just drawing the lines. And then I was like, oh, I want to put like a squishy little cat in here because Kirsty will like it if there's a weird cat. So I was trying to Google like weird squishy little floor cat to find something. And then two of my friends walked by who were also trying to do a painting, and one of them was getting annoyed at the other because he was like hogging all the paints and wasn't doing it evenly. But yeah, I think that's all I remember. The end. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The end. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wonderful.
So yeah, there you go. I was in prison and escaped to Xylus's nan.
Xylus's nan keeps visiting. I'm going to pretend to be her.
Yeah, it was like such a stereotypical like nan, like when people dress up as nans and they just have like a blue rinse and like a shawl. And I was like,
I'm just picturing you like Scooby-Doo on the plane in the movie. We'll pass the guard and go, hello.
See you later, Shiloh. My beautiful grandson.
I'm so proud.
But yeah, I was like, I remember spending the whole dream thinking like, I know I actually did the murder. So really,
I like how you got 3 years for murder.
Well, it's because it was like, I wasn't actually found guilty for the murder, but I'd been found guilty for like one of the lesser crimes around it. And they were like, okay, you didn't do murder, but you did do this other thing. So I was thinking like, okay, if I'm naughty and they retry me because they look into it again because I've escaped, maybe they realize I did do this murder. So I should probably just fess up now. And then I remember even thinking like, maybe because I handed myself back in, I can bargain with them and get less time.
I didn't have to go like, wow, you were so good. Just knock the sentence down a bit, you know?
Yeah. And then when I realised I could read a lot of books if I was just in prison. Maybe it's not so bad now.
It's actually quite nice in here.
Yeah, there's painting competitions and all the books I could read.
So me and Tash were also in prison.
I think you were just visiting for the competition.
Oh, okay, naturally.
And then, yeah, the other two friends who just walked by bickering all the time.
Not me and Rydian.
Which was, no, it was one of my mods.
We never argue.
That's true. Not even in my dreams. It was my mod, Rob, and the Yogscast mod, Nightjar. It was those two were bickering about, let me have the paints. No! But yeah, it was like, I think we were meant to be recreating the Mona Lisa or something, but you had drawn, you'd like painted it. You did it so quickly. They were like, okay, paint a thing. And you were just like, done.
Okay.
But you'd done like this weird, like Regency zombie Mona Lisa. And I was just like, okay, I can go with this vibe.
I dig it. Yep.
But yeah. Did you get what I mean about, like, do people know what I mean when I say, like, I don't know what period in British history it was, but when people used to paint their faces with, like, that.
Yes, I do know what you mean. Is it like Elizabethan?
It was something really
kind of
poisonous,
really.
wasn't it? People used to put something on their face that was, like, really poisonous.
Maybe.
And then...
is it like the white powder and, like, the...
Yeah, and the, like, one mole... And
yes.
then they'd have the massive, like, grey wigs that were, like, 2 foot above their head. Like, that sort of lady was the subject.
Yeah, I don't know when that sort of would have been. My point of reference is in Pocahontas 2. They do that to Pocahontas when she comes to England.
See, my point of reference is, I'm pretty sure Blackadder 3 was set
there we
in
go.
this
See?
time.
Perfect. What era? English. White
history
powder,
in UK schools is not the best.
Yeah, I just learned about the Tudors.
Yeah, Henry VIII, War of the Roses, and the Second World War is whatever happened in between or before. We don't know. Sometimes we learn about the Romans. It's basically anything that you can either dress up for or play a recorder to.
Pretty much. So, I think it was King James, I want to say. And that was the 1600s. So, let's look at 1600s fashion.
Look at Vogue from the 1600s.
Yeah, 1600s Vogue.
Who was on the cover?
See, it just looks very Tudor, really, because it's not far after, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
well,
like
some of... I get, like...
neck ruffles and the updos.
I guess, like, Georgian Regency sort of time? Or is that
fashion.
too late? I don't know if it would have been before.
I think that's a bit too late.
Somewhere there is a history person listening to this and
they're just having an awful time, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
I'll
it's
tell you
Regency.
what, it was before the 80s, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that seems right, yeah.
But after, you know, the 100s, somewhere in between that time period. You know what? I said to Alex the other day, I was like cooking dinner. I just came he was sat in the living room. I just walked in and I was so proud of myself. I kept such a straight face. And I was like, do you reckon the Romans got scared about the years counting down? He was like, what? I was like, well, obviously our years count up, but for the Romans, the years were counting down and it must have made them quite nervous. And he looked at me with this look of like, wait, do you genuinely... He was like, no, wait. Huh?
Oh, no. I reckon it's 1600s-ish.
Okay.
Roughly.
Well, that was
maybe
your lady that you did. Was a 1600s fancy zombie-esque Mona Lisa. And to top it off, I wanted to draw you a funny little guy in exchange for your masterpiece. I've looked up prison, and it says, prison in dreams stands for the traps we create for ourselves. We may feel that outside circumstances are making life difficult, but in actual fact, we are creating those circumstances ourselves. Wow. What an amazing way to tell me that I'm the problem.
You might be the problem. Wow.
Oh. It says duty and guilt are opposite sides of the same coin in a spiritual sense. Duty can be a liability and therefore a trap, and guilt can prevent us from seeing a way forward. Often when we feel trapped by either duty or guilt, We dream of a prison.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, when did I have this dream? What's the date? The 5th. So this was, the night yesterday I recorded this dream, which I guess would have
So it
been
was
the
the night
day
of the 4th?
after. Yeah. So I guess that was when the bunnies were in the vets all day, which I guess is a sense of duty. I mean, I don't do, like, obviously sometimes being an animal guardian can be tough, but I never see it as like, it never feels like a burden.
Yeah, not
I'm always
burden.
happy to do it. But maybe like...
But it's still stressful.
Yeah, and I guess there is that sense of like, there's only so much you can do. Like, I was in the waiting room with Jerry when he was about to go in, and I literally whispered to him like, I wish I could just do this for you. Like I would have it done to me, so you don't have to. Because he didn't end up having it in the end, but he was meant to have like a cysto, which is like a direct urine sample taken straight from the bladder, and I was just like, if I could have it done, I'd have it done for you.
I'll do it for you, my boy.
It's weird. This rabbit's piss says it's a woman. It's just,
a human woman.
A mid-30s woman. It's very weird results. But he didn't end up having it done because just before they put him under, he must have had a wee and there was nothing in his bladder, so they couldn't do it. But I guess maybe that could be like a sense of being a bit helpless and a bit trapped.
Oh God, yeah, definitely. Like the wait when one of your pets is at the vet and you're waiting for that phone call, that is like peak helplessness. It's just, when are they going to ring me? Are they going to have good news? You know, I have to wait all day. I just can't think about anything else. That's exactly what it is. Like,
I literally to be fair, actually, thinking back to it, I did feel really trapped because I wanted to go out to the shop for something and I was like, I'll go out to the shop, but wait, no, if they call, I need to be here. And I kept doing that. I'd be like, oh, I need to do this, but I should be by the phone. And there was a time when I just popped upstairs to take something up to Alex. And as I was walking out, he started another conversation. And I had this feeling of like, but I'm not next to my phone. I have to be next to my phone so I can. And I guess, yeah, it is quite like being chained to it in a similar way to like being a bit trapped. Because there's no, it felt like that phone call, it's sort of like Schrodinger's cat. It's like that phone call is either going to be, they're absolutely fine, or it could be the worst thing imaginable. Like there's nothing you can do to know or get any hints until they call. So yeah, I guess that would be. Also, in the dream, I was very casual about being in prison. I was quite cheeky about it.
Yeah,
and
just the fact that I was his nan to get out. Like, you know,
this whole other like murder. I have no idea who I killed or why or anything. That was just all I knew was like, hee did a little murder.
And you got 3 years, Lamau.
Blasé about it, which is very not like if I like, you know, when you see these like films and TV and it's like an investigation and the police turn up at someone's house and someone's just sat there all like casually just like, yeah, what of it? Like, I don't have to tell you nothing and all of this stuff. And I would be there just like, I'm so sorry. Maybe I did do it. I'll come in. Arrest me.
I haven't left my house, but I might have done it. You'll have to just arrest me.
Like, I remember in school we'd gone to Eam, the plague village, and everyone had like bought toy rats, and then someone's toy rat had been stolen and the teacher was like asking who did it. And I knew it wasn't me, but I was so guilty.
What if I did do it?
Yeah, and I was just like, just the fact that there was guilt in the room will make me feel guilty. So the fact that in the dream I was just like, like it's not at all how I would be. Like when you see those films where like, it's such a bugbear of mine, things like Weekend at Bernie's, where the whole film could be solved by just fessing up early on. It's why I can't watch any Ben Stiller films because it's just like, I could have just simply had a conversation, but no, hilarity ensues, a series of unfortunate events. And I'm just like, no, just say.
This could
just
have
tell
all
them,
been
just
solved
say.
with the conversation. Just
Yeah.
stop wasting my time.
So I would immediately, like, if I accidentally, for whatever reason, like hurt someone, I would immediately be like, I did that. That was me. I'm bad. Something I would never. I don't know. It was very odd. I think the reason that the books were in there was because there's this lady who keeps being suggested to me on Instagram Reels where she does these like reaction videos, but it's like how I would react to common fantasy tropes. And one of them was her being like, there's this voice that's like, I'm going to lock you away in a tower and no one will be allowed to see you. And she's just like,
thank God.
Oh no. Oh, really? Oh no.
Oh no. What am I going to do?
She's really funny. There's one of them that's like, there's only one bed in this room. And she's just like, yeah, I know, I booked it. And one of them where it's not going to sound funny. You have to see the context for it to be funny. But there's one where off screen there's like this voice that's just like, please leave the prince and run away with me. And she just sort of looks, she like bends down and looks at the phone. She's just like, I don't date the poor. I'll have to find her and send it to you. She's very funny. But yes, other than that, I don't really know. I mean, maybe I'll look up painting in the book.
Yeah, painting I would say is a good one. Or like, I mean, maybe not history per se, but yeah, I think painting's a good shout. Or you said it was like a competition or a talent show?
Yeah,
like competition could be one to look up.
Oh, yeah. Painting says, often in waking life, we will not recognize our own creative ability, and to be painting in a dream may alert us to other talents we have not realized we possess. We may not actually have the ability to paint successfully in everyday life. Oh. I mean, do I have a talent I don't realize I have? I mean, I wouldn't realize if I did.
I think you're very talented.
I don't know if I am.
And beautiful.
Ooh. No, you. But it was so weird. It was like, I literally was just tracing and I was just like, wow, I'm amazing at this. I was like, it's because I'm tracing it.
Tracing is good practice though.
Yeah. I was like, no one else could see the lines, but I could just see them. And I was like, wow, how is this happening? But yeah, odd. It says in this as well, if, for instance, we are painting miniatures, but I'm guessing it means tiny paintings. I don't think it means miniatures as we would think of. Yeah.
Why
because
not both?
After that, it says if we are painting large pictures.
Oh, I see.
We may need to adopt a more global perspective. It was a very large picture. Maybe I need more global perspective.
How large are we talking? Was it one of those where you need a little crane to paint it?
No, it was like, it was laying down on a table and it was, I'd say if you like stretch your arms out, it was that long. I'm stretching my arms out right now for the sake of listeners at home.
Okay, I'm also straightening my arms out.
Yeah, I think that it was about that long and a little bit less wide.
Okay.
It was a rectangle. It's pretty big. But yeah, maybe it's that I want to do... Oh my gosh, I just remembered another part of my dream from last night, which sort of feeds into this. Okay, so basically, I really want to do a Secret Santa this year because when you work, they always do one in the office. And when you work as a streamer, you're pretty much very much like on your own as a work team. We're very lucky to have a network.
Yeah.
But because we don't all like work together, we never do a Secret Santa. So I was thinking like, oh, we have our little like crafty group that we occasionally meet up with. And I was like, oh, maybe I could message in the craft group and be like, does anyone want to do a Secret Santa this year? And then in the dream last night, I was talking to Boba and I was like, I would like to do a Secret Santa. And she was just like, no one will want that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
And she had like a reason for it. I can't remember what the reason was, but she was just like, yeah, because blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. And I only just realized that part was a dream because I just woke up thinking like, well, I guess no one wants to do a Secret Santa with me. That's fine. Okay. But it was a dream.
I'll do a Secret Santa.
I don't
with
know.
You. Just you.
Who is this from?
Who could it be?
I remember the last time I did a Secret Santa at the vet, and by the end of the day, I knew who everyone had because they were all so bad at reacting when they picked out the names. And I was just like, for heaven's sake. Like, one person literally picked the name out of the hat. I spent so long like seeing who wanted to be part of it, putting all the names in, blah, blah, blah. And then they picked the name out and they were like, oh, I didn't know Amy was taking part. And I was like, for heaven, who do you have? Who could you possibly have?
Who could it be?
And then there was this little group of like me and two friends that were quite close at the vet. It was a bigger group doing the Secret Santa. But I just happened to be seeing the other two after work. So I took the rest of the names with me. And I knew I had picked out one of them. And then the other one picked out the name and was just like, oh, so is this just between us three? And I was like, well, I know you have me then. So...
Gosh, I never took part in the Secret Santa at my old work. But I'm glad I didn't. Because when everybody started getting their gifts, like... the disparity, like they had the rule, like I think like no more than a $5 or whatever it was, or a $10.
Yeah.
But some people took that as maximum 5 or 10. So they got like the most tiny, like crap gifts. I think, but the thing is, like, I don't know, I wouldn't have cared, but there were other people who complained about it, and it was like, this does not bring joy. It's just everyone's just complaining about what they've been given. Oh my gosh! Like there was someone who got those like hangover kits that you sometimes get in like goodie bags. Like it's got like I don't know an eye mask and a tea bag and a lip gloss sort of thing. Somebody got one of those and they're like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And I was just sitting there like sipping my tea, like glad I didn't join in.
Oh, geez. Well, we did one because basically at the vets, like all the nurses and vet would have like their own Secret Santa, and then us like PCAs, like patient care assistants, we just weren't ever asked. So I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to organize one just for us.
Aww.
So we don't feel left out.
Yeah.
And then some of the student nurses were like, can we be in yours instead, please?
Oh,
I was like, yeah, that's fine.
See, they had the toxic one like mine.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear. But I would like to do one, just like a cute little friend one. I
would. I think that would be nice.
So yeah, I'll try it. It's not even been Halloween yet. I'm so sorry, everyone.
True.
I keep finding myself singing Christmas songs as well. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, I've had people in my chat saying they're doing the shopping now, and I was like, honestly, good on you. I should probably do that.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
I'll still be buying Christmas presents 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, that's the problem. I feel like I will be as well if I don't buck my ideas up.
Yeah. Well,
we've been yapping for a while.
We really have. I feel like we did talk about some dream things sometime.
We did, yeah. There were lots of dream talk in there.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
We have a podcast.
We do. I have a podcast.
I'm going to go and tell everyone. Well, Kirsty, thank you for a very lovely chat.
Thank you, Bryony, my love. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, thank you. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.